So it's finally here. It's the last week. This is week number 8. So today is Monday, May 18th. And this is our final benchmark for 7th grade. So we're going to be talking about LS2-4, man-made disasters, and how the human impact on the environment can be studied and how we can fix it and stuff like that. So let's talk about some things that human beings have been doing to the environment in maybe the last 100 years or so. Can you think of any man-made disasters that have caused a big change in the environment? Well, I have here 4 pictures, and over the course of this week, we'll be talking about these disasters and things that we can do to fix it too. So the 4 pictures we'll talk about, we have oil spills, deforestation, overfishing, and too much trash. Now there's quite a lot more that we can talk about, and so hopefully this will help you understand the bigger impact of human beings. The benchmark is on page 79, so this is LS2-4, and it's about the effects on the populations. So human beings, we affect the environment in big ways, and we can do a lot to change that and make it better. One of the biggest factors driving this is that the population of human beings has increased a lot in just the last 100 years. And so with the increase of human beings, we need more stuff. We create more trash. And so we need to figure that out. And so luckily, there's a lot of movements to try to make it better. There's pretty much 2 big ways to affect change. One thing is to do it at a legal level, like you pass laws, you regulations, you make sure that companies are not polluting, you make sure that people are doing the things that they should be doing, maybe banning plastic bags and stuff like that. At the same time, though, as an individual, you have a responsibility and you have a lot of power as well to change what you do. One of the best ways of doing that is probably just reducing, reusing, recycling. And we talked about this earlier in the year. We don't want to just focus on the recycling. Recycling is good. I'm not saying recycling is bad. I'm just saying that we need to first reduce what we use and what we buy and what we make. We use what we already have. And then if we can't help it, then we recycle what's left over if possible. Here's a very interesting graph about the human population and how quickly it's grown. In 1800s, that's 200 years ago, we had 1 billion people on Earth. By 1927, that doubled to 2 billion. Right? In the year 2012, we reached 7 billion, and we're quickly going to 8 billion, maybe even 9 billion within the next 30 years. And that it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that we need to figure out how to sustain that population growth without affecting the environment too much, right? So I'll finish off with a video from TED-Ed, and it talks about different aspects of the human impact. And we'll come back tomorrow and talk about specific man-made disasters and what we can do about it. Okay, see you tomorrow.
And in just 50 years, we've made enough plastic, at least 8 billion metric tons, to cover the whole world in a thin film. People's farming, fishing, and forestry will also show up as a before and after in any such strata, because it's those kinds of activities that are causing unique species of plants and animals to die out. This die-off started perhaps more than 40,000 years ago, as humanity spread out of Africa and reached places like Australia, kicking off the disappearance of big, likable, and edible animals. This is true of Europe and Asia, think woolly mammoth, as well as North and South America too. For a species that has only roamed the planet for a few 100,000 years, Homo sapiens has had a big impact on the future fossil record. That also means that even if people were to disappear tomorrow, evolution would be driven by our choices to date. We're making a new homogeneous world of certain favored plants and animals, like corn and rats. But it's a world that's not as resilient as the one it replaces. As the fossil record shows, it's a diversity of plants and animals that allows unique pairings of flora and fauna to respond to environmental challenges, and even thrive after an apocalypse. That goes for people too. If the microscopic plants of the ocean suffer as a result of too much carbon dioxide, say, we'll lose the source of as much as half of the oxygen we need to breathe. Then there's the smudge in future rocks. People's penchant for burning coal, oil, and natural gas has spread tiny bits of soot all over the planet. That smudge corresponds with a meteoric rise in the amount of carbon dioxide in the air, now beyond 400 parts per million, or higher than any other Homo sapiens has ever breathed. Similar soot can still be found in ancient rocks from volcanic fires of 66 million years ago, a record of the cataclysm touched off by an asteroid at the end of the late Cretaceous epoch. So odds are, our soot will still be here 66 million years from now, easy enough to find for any aliens who care to look. Of course, there's an important difference between us and an asteroid. A space rock has no choice but to follow gravity. We can choose to do differently. And if we do, there might still be some kind of human civilization thousands or even millions of years from now. Not a bad record to hope for.